A quaint kingdom basks in the sunlight, a beacon of cheer against the encroaching darkness. Towering over the kingdom, the dark wood forest looms, a silent, watchful giant. Long shadows creep from the forest's edge, fingers of darkness stretching towards the kingdom. The forest's darkness contrasts sharply with the kingdom's bright, cheerful colors. An uneasy balance exists between the vibrant kingdom and the foreboding forest. The edge of the dark wood, a boundary between light and shadow, joy and fear. Sunlight floods the throne room, illuminating dancing dust motes as the young king sits stiffly on his elaborate throne. A line of petitioners stretches before him, their faces etched with hope and anxiety. The king listens intently, his brow furrowed in concentration, absorbing their pleas. Dressed in fine silks, his youthful eagerness to prove himself is palpable. He embodies the weight of the crown, striving to meet the expectations etched upon him. Sunlight floods the miller's humble home, highlighting the stark contrast of hope and despair within its walls. The miller paces, a whirlwind of nervous energy, his hands painting vivid pictures in the air as he speaks. His daughter sits in silence, a storm of worry and shame brewing beneath her downcast eyes. She avoids his gaze, her fingers twisting a thread, each knot a symbol of her growing anxiety. "And I told the king myself," the miller booms. "Your Majesty, my daughter can spin straw into gold." Her silence is deafening, a stark contrast to her father's grandiose claims. In the castle's spinning room, the miller's daughter is trapped, the air heavy with the scent of dry straw and despair. Dim moonlight paints long shadows across the mountains of straw, an impossible task looming before her. She sits hunched over, her small form swallowed by the room's immensity, a picture of utter desolation. Her face is buried in her hands, her shoulders shaking with silent sobs, each tear a testament to her plight. The sheer volume of straw mocks her, a golden prison built of impossible expectations and cruel demands. Despair hangs heavy in the air, a suffocating blanket woven from moonlight and the scent of dry straw. A burst of light illuminates the spinning room in the king's castle. Rumpelstiltskin appears, a fearsome figure emerging from the ethereal glow. His piercing gaze sweeps over the room, an unsettling presence filling the space. "Why are you crying, miller's daughter?" Rumpelstiltskin asks, his voice sharp. Flickering torchlight casts long shadows across the cold stone walls of the castle's spinning room. The miller's daughter nervously offers her necklace, a glint of desperation in her eyes. Rumpelstiltskin snatches the necklace, his eyes gleaming with avarice in the dim light. With unnatural speed, he transforms straw into shimmering gold, the room filled with the magical hum of the spinning wheel. The spinning room dazzles, an ocean of spun gold shimmering from floor to ceiling. The king enters, his eyes widening in disbelief at the sight before him. His face is a mask of awe, overwhelmed by the room's glittering opulence. Slowly, awe gives way to avarice as greed begins to consume him. His gaze sweeps over the gold, picturing the power it represents. The king's rage echoes as he slams the heavy wooden door, sealing the miller's daughter in the immense, straw-filled spinning room. Moonlight paints the golden straw in ethereal light through the tall, arched windows. Overwhelmed, she collapses, tears tracing paths down her pale cheeks in the silent, cavernous space. From the deepest shadows, a figure begins to coalesce, a hint of wicked delight dancing in his hidden eyes. Rumpelstiltskin materializes, a mischievous glint betraying his intentions as he steps into the moonlight. In the dimly lit spinning room, magical light casts long shadows, illuminating scattered straw and gleaming piles of gold. The miller's daughter offers a golden ring. It's worth a desperate plea in the silent exchange. Rumpelstiltskin accepts the ring, his eyes glinting with insatiable avarice. With a flourish, the wheel spins, and the straw transforms once more into glittering gold. Inside the castle's spinning room, morning light catches the king's avarice-filled eyes, fixated on a growing mountain of gold. The king's expression shifts into a manic grin, a visual testament to his escalating greed. His fingers twitch uncontrollably, betraying an overwhelming desire to plunge into the glittering hoard. The room seems to shrink around him as the mountain of gold grows, dominating his vision. His judgment begins to crumble, consumed entirely by the intoxicating allure of wealth. In the heart of the castle, the king's obsession transforms the spinning room into a gilded cage of his own making. Inside the cold, vast chamber, the king leads the miller's daughter, torchlight casting dancing shadows on the stone walls. Mountains of straw fill the room, their coarse texture illuminated by the flickering flames, a daunting task ahead. The king's words echo in the chamber, a chilling ultimatum hanging in the air. If by sunrise you can spin all of this straw into gold, I will marry you. The miller's daughter stands alone amidst the straw, the torchlight reflecting in her wide, fearful eyes. In the castle's spinning room, Rumpelstiltskin appears, cloaked in shadow, desperation etched on her face. The miller's daughter stands defeated. Her voice trembling, she whispers, "I promise you, my firstborn child." Rumpelstiltskin's eyes gleam with dark anticipation at her desperate offer. The room is filled with a tense silence as the bargain is struck. Sunlight bathes the spinning room in gold, illuminating the dazzling riches of the king's castle. The king beams, his joy overflowing as he surveys the shimmering display of wealth and power. Dressed in royal robes, the miller's daughter stands regally beside him, now a queen in her own right. A radiant transformation, she embodies the dream spun from straw into gold. A year has passed. Sunbeams flood the queen's chambers, illuminating a scene of unexpected peace. The queen is on her throne, not in command, but cradling a baby with tenderness. Her face, once etched with ambition, is now soft and serene, radiating maternal love. The golden light catches the curve of her cheek as she gazes down at the infant in her arms. Time seems to stand still in the sun-drenched room, a haven untouched by past bargains. The queen appears to have forgotten the shadowy deal, lost in the joy of motherhood. The queen's chambers are suddenly filled with a swirl of golden dust. Rumpelstiltskin appears, his eyes gleaming with unsettling anticipation in the soft daylight. His presence cuts through the serenity of the room, a stark contrast of darkness and light. A beat of silence hangs in the air as he breaks the quiet with a declaration. His voice, sharp and cutting, echoes through the chambers. "I have come to collect what was promised." The queen's reaction is not shown, but the tension is palpable. Sunlight paints the queen's chambers as she kneels, tears coursing down her face in a desperate plea. Rumpelstiltskin watches her, his stillness unnerving, eyes gleaming with an inscrutable light. "Please, I beg you, take anything, anything at all, but spare my child," she cries, hands clasped tight. "You must guess my name. You have 3 days," Rumpelstiltskin declares, his words a haunting bargain. Alone in her opulent chambers, the queen sits, shadows dancing on the walls, her face illuminated by flickering candlelight. A list of names occupies her attention, her brow furrowed deep in thought, weighing the fates of many. A sudden, steely resolve hardens her expression, a silent vow made in the heart of the night. "Send a messenger," she commands, her voice echoing in the silent room. "I want names from every corner." Rumpelstiltskin appears in a swirl of dark smoke, his eyes gleaming with avarice in the sunlit queen's chambers. The queen stands firm, a scroll clutched tightly in her hand, her face set against the intruder. "I have compiled a list of names. Surely one of these is yours," the queen declares, her voice echoing. Rumpelstiltskin sneers. "Deny, deny. All are false," his words dripping with cruel amusement. In the opulent queen's chamber, shadows sway with the flickering candlelight, reflecting the queen's restless unease. Worry etches deep lines on her brow as she paces, the fate of her kingdom weighing heavily on her shoulders. She gestures sharply, summoning a messenger to her side, her voice tight with barely suppressed fear. "Send word to the neighboring kingdoms," she commands, her voice echoing in the chamber. "I require a list of the most unusual names they possess," she finishes, a desperate glint in her eyes. In the queen's chambers, Rumpelstiltskin materializes in a cloud of smoke, his presence instantly commanding. The queen, regal and poised, clutches a scroll, her eyes reflecting a blend of hope and anxiety. She extends the scroll towards Rumpelstiltskin, a silent plea etched on her face. "I have prepared another list," she declares, her voice trembling slightly. "Surely one of these names will suffice." Rumpelstiltskin scans the list, his dismissive snorts echoing through the chamber. "Nope, nope, and definitely nope." He leers at the queen. "Your desperation is amusing, Your Majesty," he taunts, reveling in her despair. Under the cloak of night, a lone messenger treads softly through the dense woods, each footstep a whisper on the rustling leaves. He peers cautiously through the trees, his eyes fixed on a distant, flickering glow in a clearing ahead. Rumpelstiltskin dances wildly around a blazing fire, his movements erratic and filled with strange glee. He sings in a high-pitched voice, unaware of the watchful eyes upon him, lost in his twisted revelry. "Tonight I bake, tomorrow I brew." Rumpelstiltskin cackles, revealing his dark intent under the starlit sky. Inside the queen's chambers, a breathless royal messenger stands, his face etched with urgency and resolve. His eyes dart around the opulent room, a stark contrast to the gravity of the news he carries. He bows deeply before the queen, struggling to catch his breath before delivering his vital message. With a voice strained but clear, the messenger proclaims, "Your Majesty, I have learned Rumpelstiltskin's name." A dramatic pause hangs in the air, heightening the tension as the queen leans forward, anticipation etched on her face. The messenger declares triumphantly, "It is Rumpelstiltskin." Rumpelstiltskin materializes in the queen's chambers, his sudden appearance filling the room with silent menace. He stands imposingly, his posture radiating an arrogant self-assurance. A smug look is plastered across his face, a mask of triumph and cruel satisfaction. His eyes gleam with wicked intelligence, betraying the cunning schemes brewing within. He seems assured of his victory, his every gesture dripping with unearned confidence. The air crackles with anticipation as his presence dominates the queen's chambers. Sunlight floods the queen's chamber, motes of dust swirling in the golden light. The queen stands tall, regal in her sunlit chambers. Her gaze is intense, fixed on a figure just beyond the frame. A pregnant pause hangs heavy in the air. "Is your name Rumpelstiltskin?" she asks, her voice echoing slightly. Rumpelstiltskin flies into a rage, his face contorted with fury, the air crackling with dark energy. He stamps his foot, the sound echoing like thunder through the chamber, shaking the very foundations. In a burst of smoke, he vanishes into the ground, leaving behind only a small, ominous crater. The queen clutches her child, relief flooding her face as the threat disappears.